The old professor thought I was a diversity hire until he realized I control his funding. The faculty club's annual gala was my first as director of research grants. I'd spent 3 weeks reviewing funding proposals since finishing my MIT doctorate, but tonight I was just another attendee. These professors and wealthy donors had no idea I now controlled their research budgets. Professor Whitman spotted me at the champagne table, his eyes dismissing me instantly. Student mixers next door? His liver-spotted hand patted my shoulder like I was lost. He steered me from the champagne table, palm on my lower back like guiding a child. His nose wrinkled at my blazer, pinching the fabric between his fingers like it was contaminated. He examined the coffee stain with theatrical disgust, shaking his head at my appearance while other faculty began to notice his performance. "Did you spill your breakfast on yourself this morning?" he asked, loud enough for nearby colleagues to hear, his voice dripping with mock concern. When I mentioned my MIT doctorate, he patted my head, damp palm heavy on my scalp, and said I wasn't fooling anyone. My teeth ground until my jaw ached. He demonstrated slow, exaggerated speech patterns, mocking my credentials with theatrical gestures. His breath smelled of scotch and cigars as he invaded my personal space, treating me like a child who'd wandered into an adult conversation. The heat rose in my chest as he continued his intellectual assault, questioning my basic comprehension with condescending head tilts and exaggerated facial expressions. As servers arrived with hors d'oeuvres, he intercepted my reach with swift precision. He pointed to water crackers instead, examining my shoes with theatrical disgust. To his colleagues, he made assumptions about my living situation and economic status, gesturing at my outfit like evidence in a trial. The shaking started in my hands as he performed his analysis of my financial circumstances for the growing audience. He made sweeping gestures about my presumed poverty, discussing my supposed background with the authority of someone conducting a case study. My fingernails carved half moons into my palms as the humiliation deepened. More faculty gathered, drawn by the spectacle, and he announced my presence to them, claiming I thought basic tasks counted as research. He assigned me menial work, collecting glasses, straightening chairs. When I didn't move, he grabbed my wrist with surprising strength. His fingers left moisture on my skin as he questioned my basic competence through gestures and dismissive looks. The circle of observers grew wider, their whispered conversations creating a soundtrack to my degradation. I felt the familiar burn of powerless rage building in my throat. The performance intensified as his confidence grew and the audience expanded. "This is today's diversity showcase," he told colleagues with pride. Not my name. Diversity showcase. Professor Wolf asked what I was showcasing with genuine curiosity. Whitman explained the future of lowered standards, making assumptions about my background and family with sweeping declarations. He turned to me with questions about my parents' education and circumstances, his voice dripping with condescension. Each word felt like a physical blow, designed to strip away my dignity piece by piece. The worst came when he discussed his grant funding with the assembled faculty, his voice carrying across the room. "These diversity hires in administration can't even read budgets." He stared directly at me, his meaning unmistakable to everyone present. When I responded quietly, "Your budget has discrepancies," he went completely still, grabbed my face, thumb on one cheek, fingers on the other, squeezed to purse my lips while the room watched in stunned silence. Vision blurred from pure rage. He released me, wiped his hand on his jacket like I was contaminated, ready to deliver his final dismissal to complete my destruction. The dean's voice cut through Whitman's performance. "There you are. I've been looking everywhere for our new director of research grants." Whitman dropped the drink that he was holding. The screen spiderwebbed on impact. His face drained of color so fast I worried he might faint. "Dr. Johnson controls all funding decisions, including yours, Whitman." I smiled. About that 1.2 million proposal, Whitman's knees buckled. He grabbed the wall, mouth working soundlessly as colleagues scattered like roaches in sudden light. His face cycled through white, green, gray. The toupee shifted, revealing sweaty scalp beneath. He wheezed about his proposal. 20 years of work, please. I studied him the way he'd studied me. His grant was already rejected for budget irregularities and inflated travel. Security had footage of him grabbing my face. By Monday, his office stood empty. Early retirement, the dean explained. Voluntary. His research transferred to someone who understood RNA modification. My coffee-stained blazer hangs framed in my office.